Hey, everybody, it's Nathan Crane, director of the Health and Healing Club and host of the Conquering Cancer series. And I'm super excited today to share with you a very powerful product that has demonstrated in scientific studies to arrest cancer cell growth and induce apoptosis. It's an all-natural, organic, plant-based product with significant scientific studies supporting it. And it's really available to just about anybody. We're going to give you a very special discount below this video you can check out. But if you want to stick around and learn about it, learn from the director of Haelan products, Jim Ladwig, who's here with us today, stick around because you're going to learn some information about soy that you didn't know. You're going to learn some information about fermented soy that you didn't know, and you're going to learn some pretty incredible evidence-based information about soy specifically for cancer that I think if you have cancer, you have a loved one who has cancer, or your intention is just to prevent cancer, live longer and healthier, this is a product I think everybody needs to know about, which is why I'm super excited to have a director of Haelan products here with us, Jim. Jim, thanks so much for joining us, brother.
Hey, thanks for having me, Nathan.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what led to the creation of the product Haelan 951. What was kind of a little bit of the history there?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate the intro. I'm super stoked about this product, and I have been for years. It was kind of an interesting history because there's been a vast history of soy, and I know you've covered that in some other interviews and podcast things that you've done. And the history of soy is pretty interesting when you start to track the thousands of years that it was grown and fermented and used in cultures, and the health benefits associated with it. And as you kind of move into the era of genetic modification and things like that, there's been some problems. So understanding that the rich history of what's latently in the soy is just so powerful. What ended up kind of sparking this journey into the 951 formulation was a hospital nutritionist in China, and she was actually trying to help late-stage cancer patients with cachexia. And a lot of these treatment side effects from traditional cancer treatments and even the cancer itself can cause people to waste away. And that ends up being a very big problem in the late stages of cancer. And so that was her goal. And she wanted to do it with food and a natural plant-based way. So they came across a unique species of soy that we continue to grow today, and a nitrogen fermentation process. And throughout a few years, they refined the process. We're now in I think about the fourth generation. They started with an 851, now we're in a 951. So it's a new, the latest generation, which we've been using the 951 now since the early 90s, and just seeing great success. So it's a really cool history when you look at soybean, and then the just the use over years and all the studies that I've seen. And when you take it into this fermentation process, man, it's powerful. It's really, really powerful.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that. What does the science tell us about fermented soy specifically and cancer?
Yeah, absolutely. So to even kind of back that, there's great scientific evidence in an unfermented state when you do it right. And so obviously we strive for the best standards in organic practices, but then even to take that into a fermented state, I actually printed off this study that it was an insight into the health benefits of fermented soy. And some of the things that these guys document, there's anti-diabetic properties, there's anti-cancer properties, anti-inflammatory properties. Some of the ones that even surprised me, you'd think soy, right? It's got this rap for really started in the late 90s, where it was like, oh, soy's pro-inflammatory. And yeah, in an unfermented state, some people may react that way, especially with genetically modified species. But really, the powerful compounds that are in there, the isoflavones, the saponins, these are massive anti-inflammatories. And so that affects a number of underlying problems, health conditions even one of the ones I was looking up here with blood pressure, just things you would not think of being associated with, the soy you can buy in a grocery store maybe, but when you get it into these great fermented states, you're getting awesome bacteria, you're getting the fermentation metabolites that happen during the fermentation process. And it really is kind of unlocking the fantastic qualities that you find natively in soy. There's even some neurostimulatory effects, so helping to balance the brain and brain function. So really a systemic aid to the body in fermented soy, and you can find these benefits in even notable amounts in things like nattokinase or other fermented miso, tempeh, other fermented milks and things like that. You can find some great benefits just in a soy diet. But what we do is take that to just a completely new level with our nitrogen fermentation process.
Yeah, there's a lot of studies on soy in particular with things like breast cancer, prostate cancer. Like, what people don't understand that I've come to find about soy and why they've been afraid of soy is, I really think, some misinformation campaigns that happened, a number of decades ago, right? Especially as people started learning they have phytoestrogens. And just the term estrogen made people afraid that, oh, it's going to actually increase it's going to attach to your alpha estrogen receptors, for example, and increase cancer cell proliferation, right? It's going to induce growth of cancer cells. And actually, what they found now, many studies have proven this, it actually does the opposite of that, because it's a phytoestrogen, it's a plant estrogen, it's a flavonoid, right? Or it's an isoflavonoid, right? That word, a little tongue twister. It attaches to the beta receptor of your estrogen beta receptors, which actually helps to slow down cancer cell growth. So and if you think about it, well, just about every medicinal plant we know in nature has some beneficial effect, for the most part, on the human body in one way or another. And so soy, it's a bean. It's we know there's so many studies on, that's from the legume family. The legumes are incredibly beneficial for gut health, for cancer, for anti-inflammatory properties, right? All kinds of things. And so this is a bean in a family of plants that are widely known and widely studied to be incredibly beneficial to the human body, especially dealing with something like cancer. So the phytoestrogen, literally, you can take away from that, that's a good estrogen for your body, or a good effect on the estrogen receptors of your body, right?
Absolutely. And you're right that it's very misunderstood. And what's really cool and I love is you start getting into the a little bit past 2010, 2011, these studies are showing exactly the opposite of what we thought. You're attaching to that beta receptor and it's negating the alpha receptor. So everything that they assumed would happen just didn't really happen. And we're seeing, so soy phytoestrogens fall under a category, it's called SERM, selective estrogen modulation, or receptor modulation. And it's very similar to the way like a tamoxifen works. And so what we typically see in these estrogen-driven situations like cancer, breast cancer, even men, prostate cancer, is these just massive lowering and a balancing effect of estrogen, and not like some people would assume that, lowering testosterone. That doesn't happen. It's just amazing what's inherently built into the plant. It's everything we want it to do in those situations.
Yeah, exactly. So you have a fascinating story yourself. You're now one of the directors at Haelan Products. But explain to our audience a little bit how you came to learn about this Haelan 951 fermented soy product. By the way, again, there is a discount code below for people who want to check out the product and try it. I highly recommend it. It's in my fridge. I actually use it more of as just an ongoing maintenance kind of health, longevity, prevention. But a lot of people are using it today as part of their own personal health protocols, right? And I've looked at the science on it. I've looked at the research on it. And it is an incredible product that I highly recommend, which is why we're doing this for our community. My community knows I always, when I learn about something, first I'll research it. And then if I like it, what I see in the research, I'll experiment with it myself. And if I like it and I think it can help my community, then I'll do something like this, offer a discount, let our community know about it. So that's why we have the discount code below for everybody. And I encourage everyone to check it out. But share a little bit about your story, how you came into contact with the product and why you've been so passionate in helping so many people get access to this product.
Absolutely. So a number of years ago, I started dealing with my own health issues, personal health issues. And it was about a year-long period of time. I had kind of launched into the traditional, like, oh, first I'm going to go to a health clinic, local health clinic, and just see what's going on, digestive issues, all these weird symptoms I started dealing with. And I ended up burning through about 7 doctors, because every time they would try to give me a prescription or, try to put me on something, oh, you're going to have to do this for the rest of your life, I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. So I really went to and started looking towards a more holistic approach. But then what really led me to the discovery of what was going on was I found a local lady. I was like, I'm going to give it one more shot and see if we can run some tests and figure out what's going on. Maybe look at the blood, figure out what's going on. And she ended up being the first person that sat down and actually listened to me. And it was phenomenal. I sit there and I'm actually sitting there for probably 40 minutes. She listened to every little thing I said. And we ended up running some tests and found out I had colon cancer. And this had been missed on CT scans and all kinds of stuff. So that was a whole nother story. So I'm about a year into this health issues, and that colon cancer had grown to where it was blocking my digestion, and I started developing H. pylori and all these other problems. And I had remembered that a good buddy of mine, his dad, Joe Tedesco, he's the founder of Haelan Products. I had remembered that Jordan, he's now our new CEO, had told me that he had done something with cancer, and I didn't have a clue. So I called him up and I was like, Jordan, I just got diagnosed with colon cancer. What do I do, man? I have no clue where to start. So he immediately overnighted me some products. I had just a fantastic recovery. My doctors were thrilled. I really, that was just launched me into this journey of, oh my gosh, plants, natural sources, how powerful are these things, and I just had to know more. So I dove into the research. And honestly, I came from a very anti-soy background. So it was a mental shift. And he started emailing me paper after paper after paper after research after study. And so I was like, okay, I get it, dude. I get it. I was wrong. I didn't have the full picture. And so, that research just kind of led me into taking on some, health coach courses and things like that, because I just had to know and understand how this powerful plant-based substance was helping so much with my recovery. So when he called me up a few years later, I had been full recovery at that point, and he called me up. He said, "Dude, I need you on the team." I happily said yes, man. I'm all hands on deck. Let's go, because I believe in this product so much, and I know we need to get the word out.
That's incredible. Yeah, and what I'm going to do, you just gave me great ideas. We're going to link to some of those scientific papers below this video for anyone who's a little bit of a research nerd like me, who likes to actually see the studies and look at them and read them and understand them. We'll put that below so you can kind of do some more of your own research.
All these on my desk, you mean?
Yeah, so we'll put a link below for everyone who wants to take a look at those, because they're fascinating and they show so many incredible properties of fermented soy for cancer. It's incredible. And for other health benefits, as you already talked about. I want to give a little, obviously disclaimer here. One, we're not claiming that this product's going to heal your cancer, cure cancer. We're not prescribing this product for cancer. We're not even saying this product is for cancer. We're saying, look at the studies that have shown, the same kinds of ingredients that have been studied that are used in this product have all of these incredible benefits on the body. Obviously, you have to consult with your own doctor, your own integrative healthcare practitioner. But, with that said, couple of things. One is maybe you can share some case studies or some anecdotal studies of not studies, but reports, confirmation stories that you've heard of people. I know you work with a lot of doctors, a lot of integrative doctors recommend this product for their cancer patients. What have you seen? What other stories have you seen of people using this and then the results they've had with their cancer? And then two, let's go into a little bit of like how much of the product should people be taking, for the most effective results.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know, I figured we'd talk about some of these studies. I wrote a few down just because honestly, like I can't even keep track anymore. I get calls every day of people. So a couple really unique ones, because what's interesting is we seem to get some really, really unique ones. Now, I would say that the vast majority is probably more like breast and prostate, because people see the correlation between soy and estrogen levels and hormone balancing and things like that. But we had a really interesting one recently. It was a bladder cancer. And this guy was getting like 20 to 40 new tumors every time he would go to his doctor. I mean, he would literally go in 20 to 40 new tumors every single time. And they would go in, they would have to extract them. And, it was this whole process every time. And it was just this constant battle back and forth. After 60 days on the product, there was like no new tumors. And then he kept going for about 120 days at like a full amount, and still no new tumors. So I know you probably know bladder cancer, it's a tough one. And so, having an effect on that was obviously life-changing for him. But for us, that was one that we hadn't really heard of a lot. Had stage 4 lung cancer. And a lot of these are, if you just Google Haelan 951, you can look over at some of the reviews and people will write their story in there. And we love that. If you're comfortable, there's a lot of people maybe not comfortable to tell that story. But there's another one, a guy named Winston, stage 4 lung cancer, got on the product, saw a great remission with that. Had another lady whose mom was in her 90s, had a squamish cell on her tongue, started drinking the product, and it literally just fell off.
Wow.
It just fell right off. So glioblastoma, had another guy locally here, actually about 20 miles from me, glioblastoma. That's a really tough brain cancer. Saw some great success, tumor shrinkage. We actually had a child in that situation. We've had some neuroblastoma with children. Just a great success. One I thought was again, some of these like this one is maybe a little bit of an outlier, but still this lady would not give up smoking, would not give up eating foods that you and I would never touch in a million years, Nathan. And she had basically her oncologist told her to check us out because he had nothing left for her. I mean, he had given her every experimental thing you could think of and sent her home and said, hey, I got nothing. You might want to check this out. She had a grapefruit size tumor in 26 days, go down to a golf ball. In about, I think it was about 24 or 5 days after that, it was to where he couldn't even detect it. So, wow. I mean, just the anti-tumor properties of fermented soy, the tumor suppression genes that it turns on are just incredible, just incredible.
Yeah, thank you for sharing those stories. So talk a little bit about what are some of the protocols or some of the things that people should consider taking the product in terms of like wanting to get the most effective results.
Yeah. So we have a lot of folks who will consume the product. It's a beverage. We're classified as a food, so it's not really we don't say dosing. We just say suggested serving size. When you're looking at just general health, an average person, half ounce to an ounce a day goes a long way, and you're getting a lot of those benefits from those major anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory compounds. I think you mentioned earlier, I mean, obviously soy is a complete protein. So those hydrolyzed proteins get down to amino acids. You got all the essential amino acids. So just a great benefit to help the immune system, to support low inflammation, things like that. Ounce a day is great.
By the way, you just mentioned it's a complete amino acid. For people who don't know, this is so important to understand. Like often you have to mix at least 2 or more different kinds of food groups to get complete amino acids. Like for example, if you mix rice and beans, you're getting all your essential amino acids. If you're, adding some vegetables in there with your rice, or beans with other vegetables and fruits, then you can finally get complete amino acids. For people who don't realize this, this is essential to your body being able to make the thousands of different kinds of proteins that the body needs to make to survive, to heal, to regrow, to regenerate, right? So without the essential amino acids that we have to get from food, not the ones that we fabricate inside of our bodies, the ones we have to get from food, people think of they just think of protein as oh, protein for muscle. What they don't realize is that the essential amino acids actually combine in different formulations inside the body to make thousands of different kinds of proteins that are essential for every aspect of your body. So the fact that this has all the essential amino acids in it is so beautiful, that nature has it packaged in one single plant so that your body can regenerate and heal and grow and do all the things it needs to do.
Yeah, it is, especially in the fermented state. That the bioavailability of those amino acids, because it's one thing to chug a powder or whatever, but to get it in a state that your body can just assimilate it right away, like you said, you have to have it. Otherwise your body can't recover on a cellular level. So
it starts to deteriorate pretty, year after year. So half ounce to an ounce a day for kind of prevention or maintenance, right? Yeah, more of like a therapeutic approach, or more of like a higher, serving size. What would you recommend, or what?
So from there you kind of stage it up. The kind of highest end would be a full bottle for a normal sized guy, like my size guy. If it is an advanced, healing situation where you're trying to recover the body, usually that 90 to 120 days at a full bottle a day is where we've just seen, and that's where a lot of our studies on the product itself, not just the soy studies, but the actual studies we've done on Haelan 951 have really shown the best results at 90 to 120 days at 4 ounces in the morning, 4 ounces at night, empty stomach, or even splitting up 3 times a day on an empty stomach. But we do have we have a number of I got an MMA guy. He beats his body up daily, and he is doing more like 2 to 3 ounces a day, especially during a training camp. So there are other recovery situations. Even if we get a lot of folks who will do maybe like a 30-day intense, half a bottle a day, 2 in the morning, 2 at night. So there's a lot, if there's ever any kind of questions, we try to help people through that. And with just the anecdotal things we've seen with, we've seen some great stuff with like PTSD and ALS stabilization, a little bit with Lyme and things like that. So we do have a little bit to gauge off of, and then the reports back we get from some of the clinics and doctors that we work with.
Fantastic. So again, for everyone tuning in, there's a link below. You can click that, Panacea. The word will be below. That's your discount code to use at checkout to get a 10% discount. You can go, order that and try it for yourself. Are there side effects?
So initially, a lot of people will think of soy, and the soy protein is what a lot of people can be allergic to. And we've probably seen a rise in the soy allergy over the last 2 decades pretty significantly. We have not actually seen that because that protein is hydrolyzed down to amino acids like we were just talking about. However, we would always caution people, if you have a soy allergy, either, consult with your professional, start very, very slow, that type of thing. initially getting started with the product, you might see some detox. It's a great detox for the body. So we suggest starting slow and kind of building up to whatever you're going to build up to, so that detox is a little more tolerable and like that. But as far as other side effects, the beauty of this thing is it's nature, man. It's plant based, and when you start doing things in an organic plant-based way, you just don't see a lot of side effects, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So somebody starting out, they're a little concerned, a little hesitant, or it's good to do anyway, I think, for anybody,
Yeah.
right? Is if your goal is to be taking, 8 ounces a day, which is 1 bottle a day, 4 ounces in the morning, 4 ounces in the evening, both on an empty stomach, you might consider starting with like a half ounce to an ounce the first day, and just add a half ounce each day. You're not seeing any side effects, you're not having any allergic reactions, things like that. Maybe a little detox, maybe a little elimination things, stuff like that, which tends to happen as you're getting a lot of highly dense nutrition into the body, especially if it's not used to it, right? So you can ease into it and work your way up over a week, maybe 2 weeks, to then where you're taking a full bottle a day, right?
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
So, from my personal experience, the flavor is really strong. And I know you've talked about some people, it's like, they start drinking it and they actually like it as it is. For me, it's super strong, and I like strong things, so I'm not too concerned about it, but I'm thinking about some of our people that don't really like very strong things, right? So what do you recommend people to do to make the flavor more palatable and a little bit easier to take down?
Yeah. So for those, just a visual for folks, this is the bottle, right? So it is a liquid. It comes in this 8-ounce bottle. It's pretty unique. It's got a pressure lock cap. We have a little video when you sign up. It's how to open it, but it's got a little rubber stopper in there. So the liquid is a little bit a thicker consistency, kind of the consistency of like a kefir. And like Nathan said, it is a little bit of a different taste. If you've ever had like natto, imagine putting that in a blender and just drinking it. So it's not as great as some of the other things on the market as far as taste goes. So what we did is we formulated a powder that you can help mix in with it. And we've had some people over the years that will do like stevia or monk fruit or something like that, just to sweeten it up a little bit. But we developed one that we felt was extremely clean. So it's lucuma, monk fruit, peppermint. We sourced all organic ingredients, and we did a vegetable-based emulsifier to help it kind of mix in there a little bit. And that really, really helps. So that's something you can do. What we don't suggest is you don't want to mix this with, and hopefully if you're listening to Nathan and I talk, you're not mixing things with sugar. You don't want to mix any artificial sweeteners or anything like that. So stick to the more natural, sweeteners, things like that. And then we have formulated a monk fruit, lucuma, peppermint sweetener that works really, really well to help kind of cut that taste down. And usually on any new orders, we're going to throw in a sample packet so you can try it. And then if you want to go order a jar of the powder, it lasts a long, long time because you just use a little bit each time. And that works pretty well.
Fantastic. So if they order the link below, they'll get a sample packet of that powder. Can they buy the powder itself at the link below as well?
Yeah, absolutely. You could just at the top of the page, you'd go to Haelan 951, hit shop, and you'll see it in there. Okay. You can order a jar of it. We've priced that thing, to move, you couldn't buy all the individual ingredients just because, we want the Haelan 951 on board, and anything we can do to kind of get that going is great, get that in the body.
Yeah, Jim. Well, thanks for taking the time to explain this product, the history, your own personal experience, the benefits, the scientific studies. We try to cover a lot in a short time, so appreciate you taking the time to do it to help serve our community. Any final thoughts? Anything we didn't cover? Anything else you think people should know?
No, I really appreciate what you're doing, Nathan. Bringing awareness to the product is fantastic. We've got 32 years of history with this thing, so If there's questions, concerns, absolutely reach out to us. We got a team that loves to make sure that our customers are taken care of. You'll go through the reviews and you'll see each one of us listed individually of, oh, I'm so glad he took the time, because our guys really, we feel for it. These situations, health situations personally, obviously I have my own situation, so I can somewhat relate, and we know what it's like. So we like to be real hands-on and work with folks and encourage them and answer any questions that may come up. So yeah, feel free to reach out.
Awesome, Jim. Yeah, thanks again, brother. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
And thank you all for tuning in. Again, I definitely encourage you to try the product. Click the link below. Use the code Panacea at checkout for a discount. Look at the studies. Do your own research, right? I always encourage you to do your own research, to look further into things. And then if you want to go ahead with it, then you've got all the information here to support you with that. So you can do that by clicking the link below. And thanks for tuning in. I wish you all ultimate health and happiness. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Take care.